R.I.P. Tom Benson. Shout out to the whole Who That Nation. Now who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. I say who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. Oh, who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. I say who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. You got that fever? Yeah, yeah, that fever for the flavor. Got that flavor? Yeah, yeah, that flavor for the funk. You got that fever? Yeah, yeah, that fever for the flavor. Got that flavor? Yeah, yeah, that flavor for the funk. I got that fever, my people. See, we not equal, my people. I'm like that dog saint underneath the steeple, my people. Got Drew Brees, he the feature, and our defense the sequel. The D-line and linebackers, man, they coming to reach them. Make enemies some believers, cause we overachievers. DBs see 50-50 balls and we call them keepers. Y'all can follow this leader, cause Sean Payton will teach you.
Yo, Saints Talk listeners, what's up? We back. It's your boy Kevin. I'm here with my man Nick. I got a football smile on my face. It's here. Football is here. This is the last time you guys will hear us, and then it'll be a Saints game. Nick, what's up, man? How you feel?
Hey, we're gonna do the best we can with this. We're on the hotel Wi-Fi. We're gonna try to grind it out and hope we get the live. And we know the audio will record okay. So if this goes down, we'll still have that after. But
can I call you? Can I call you Mr. 720p?
Is it looking bad? Is it looking rough already?
No, man, you always look good, man. You got your makeup on and stuff. You good, man. No, I dig it. You look much better than me, and you got hair. You got great hair.
Hey, everybody listening to this too, if you can, check the pinned tweet on my Twitter, Nick_Underhill. We're trying to raise some money for Second Harvest Food Bank. We're at 25,000. We're trying to get to 30. 25 is already absolutely incredible. Generous person that set this off. We know you listen to the pod. I'm not going to put your name out there because I don't know if you want it out there, but it is on the page. So if you want to go look at the page and peep it, it's there. But I'm not going to deliberately put it on blast without permission. But man, that was probably one of the most unbelievable things I've ever experienced in my life. And extreme gratitude to you for helping out the state and helping out everybody. Just an unbelievable gesture to put up 10 G's towards the added relief.
Yeah, no, shout out to the generous patron. I was shocked. I was like, are you playing with me? And he was like, no, I think it's real. I was like, wow. Then and the crazy part, it happened so fast. Like you told me, and then like I think I had to step away or something for a couple hours.
2 hours, man.
And I came back and it was raised. I was like, bro, what? I'm telling you, man, Saints fans are insane, bro. You guys
unbelievable, man.
Y'all crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Y'all crazy. Like our listens were like up. Y'all donating. I mean, I don't know what to do, man. But say shout out to the fan base, Saints Twitter, Saints fans, Saints local Saints fans abroad, not in Louisiana. Just man, it's kind of like a little overwhelming. So you know, you hear like the players. I know McEnroe spoke about it, and Teron Armstead spoke about it, like how the team takes on the personality of the city, and like it's no more proven than in this act where you just see like so many people try to give and help. So yeah, man, that's the important stuff right there. And you know, shout out to everyone that made it happen. So chat, what's up? It's good to see you guys again. We took a little week off. Nick didn't get to see me for that last pod, and I was just like, hey man,
that was fine.
I was like, hey, you know, let's just do the audio only. He was like, no, I miss your face, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right, I'm going to come through with the 780p. I mean, the 1080p, you know, so.
Yeah, it's looking a little 780 over here.
Yeah, you locked up right there for a minute, so we'll see how this goes. I was like, there goes the Wi-Fi. I was like, there it went. Oh man, that's funny. Let's get started before everybody else get on the internet. All right, so first order of business, a little bit of surprise news today. Running back 3 for the Saints, Latavius Murray, was let go. And I can't say I saw this coming, but I can't say I'm surprised neither. So give us your thoughts on the move. What do you think this leaves the running back room? Do you think it hurts this team? Is there anything in hindsight you think they could have done differently? Just, you know, give us your thoughts on this move and where you stand.
I guess I kind of started to see it coming when ESPN said that Payton referred to Tony Jones Jr. as his running back too, if he had to pick one now. I mean, I guess keep Murray around, and if he's on the 46-man roster, he gets a $200,000 bonus for each game he's on the 46-man roster. So that's a lot of money to pay for somebody that's not going to be getting the second carries. Yeah, so
doesn't play special teams. I mean, it's your running back 3 got to play special teams, right?
You know,
so, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't know what some podcasts along the way. I think we talked about this a little bit. Me and you talked about it. I don't know if it's public or not, so I'm just going to say it again. But I think was it on a podcast? Did we talk about Murray on a podcast?
When you said you want to be like me, or was that the same pod? No, oh my bad. No. Just let it fly. I mean, listen. You gave people a free week of NewOrleans.Football. I'm pretty sure they went back and listened to all the podcasts. So
yeah, okay. So
it's all out there now.
I mean, I just think it's so unfortunate that this wasn't seen when they were trimming 110 million from the salary cap. And
yeah.
It's not like doing this would have allowed you to keep Janoris Jenkins. Like, it's not like it was like an either or thing. Like, you still would have had to restructure Janoris Jenkins' contract, and there would have been a little bit of a difference, but it would have been, you could have got it within $2 million, 1.5, something like that. Difference between keeping them and cutting them. Although you're pushing money into the future. Either way, that's not something that stopped them before. But you could have done that, cut Murray, and that would have been the difference. And I don't know if that's the way they're looking at it or not. I think there's probably a piece of this where they felt like it was important to keep a strong running game together, and until you saw something coming, you kind of got to keep them, and it helps your quarterback and all that stuff. But look, the flip side of that too is I think it's a little bit easier to replace a running back than it is a cornerback, and
you let the cornerback go.
Yeah. So, it's like, you don't know what you know until you know it. He got replaced by somebody else. Somebody outplayed him. Maybe you didn't see that coming. So it's one of those things where it's easy for us to sit here September 7th and say, hey, this should have happened back in, February, March, April, whatever. But it still stinks that you kind of carried him. You did this roster trim down. This is a guy that kind of looked like he was on the chopping block back then, made it through, and then you didn't get that financial windfall back then when it could have maybe helped you do something else. But it just kind of is what it is. A guy came out of nowhere. Having a younger player replace a more expensive player isn't a bad thing. You still get the 1.5 million. You aren't spending the 200,000 per game. That's all money you can carry over to the 22 cap
if you need.
So, I mean, it helps through that, but it's just one of those things where you just kind of wish you would add the information sooner. But it takes a little while for it to show itself, and I guess that's the situation they're in.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Jones. I mean, last year he played a few snaps and he got hurt or something. So that, it's not like they, with Marquez Callaway, you feel like, all right, I've seen him last year in games. He's done some things, and I kind of know what I got going into the next year. So, if I think Mike is going to be back, and I know I got Callaway in the tuck, it may look crazy to everyone else that I don't get a receiver, but to me, it makes sense, right? When you look at the Tony Jones situation and Latavius Murray, like, I don't know if you had the intel necessarily on Jones yet to be able to say, like, okay, this guy's going to be our number 2 running back, right? Just because, like I said, you didn't really have that exposure. And, Coach Payton, he speaks about, hey, how important it is to see, for guys to do things in the game. And, that's kind of where guys get confidence. And I think he spoke about it when someone asked him about, how does games weigh into the quarterback competition? So I don't think it's ideal at all. It would have been nice if they would have, it would have been better for everybody, right? Latavius Murray, it would have been better if he would have been a free agent earlier, and, it would have been better for the player and better for the team. But I guess that's just how these things work out sometimes. So, what do you think they're going to miss with him? I thought that he was he was pretty good in pass pro. I thought he was good last year, to be honest with you. Last year he was good. I don't know if
he averaged 4.5 yards per carry.
Yeah, 31. I guess he's running back in 31. So when they fall off, it's like, it's like quick, right? And so
I don't know that he did fall off or not yet, though. I don't know if I have the
I'm not saying he did neither. I'm just saying, like, when running backs fall off, like, it just seems to be like they're good one year and then next year they struggle. So I'm not saying that's the case with him, but he is a 31-year-old running back. That's not it's not a lot of job security, and I mean, and I just think that, part of me gets that, but on the other side, it's like, it's good to have like a little, like the insurance policy. Like he was good in pass pro and stuff like that. I think you felt good about him there. So I think there'll be some things they're going to miss from him. But this.
I don't know if they have a hammer at this point. As far as someone that can just kind of hammer out a yard. Like I don't know if they have that. I don't know if that's Tony Jones' game. It doesn't.
I think Kamara is like really good in short yardage, though, man.
He is, but I mean that's kind of where you throw Murray in, and
battering ram.
You want him taking those hits instead of Alvin. Like ideally, I guess you could throw Taysom through there.
I'm gonna say use the fullback.
They got 19 fullbacks, yeah. So any one of them could do it. But I mean, that was something that Murray was pretty good at. I thought like getting those hard yards, like it was just kind of you put him out there and let him kind of do that, and that was probably his greatest asset. Is because you don't want Alvin taking those hard hits if you don't need him to be. You don't want him. You don't want him grinding. I
mean, short yardage. They're gonna bring their halfback / slot receiver / gunner / quarterback / fullback in. He's gonna come in for short yardage. Fumble or something. I'm just joking, but come in. So I'm pretty sure that they have something thought out for short yardage. But I do think that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's thought out. I mean, you don't make this move without a plan.
Yeah. So. And then maybe there's some. Man, I just that's the question I'll say for when we talk about the game. But yeah, I do think that it's an interesting move, and I don't think it's going to hurt the team a lot. But listen, if they felt Jones was the guy and he's better than Murray, then that's the move. That's the move you got to make, right? Because at this point, he's a veteran, just kind of just sitting on the bench and not playing. So
I think Dwayne Washington could probably handle some carries too. I mean, he's shown that in preseason and other times when he's called upon. He's not bad. He can handle it a little bit. I think they'll be okay. I think Tony Jones is probably in the best situation in the world. The Saints, Saints fans love nothing more than the running game and the backup running back. Those are
bro.
That they will call for more of no matter what. So if you are the backup running back, they're going to want you getting carries over the main running back, even though it's not justified. And they want you to run the ball more than they want you to pass. It doesn't matter if your quarterback's completing 70% of his passes for 350 yards every game and throwing 4 picks a season. They want you to run the ball. Yeah, they want you to run the ball 50 times, not 20 times, not 15. Like they want it to be like 65% run, 35% pass. So,
85 Bears, bro.
Tony Jones is automatically beloved just by becoming the backup running back for the Saints. But look, I thought he looked great though. I mean, honestly, jokes aside, like his vision was really good. His patience was really good. You mentioned that maybe they didn't know what they had all the way last year. I think I agree with that a little bit. I mean, I think it was obvious that he was really good. And I wrote this today. I think that, and I think we talked about this before. I think he's one of those guys that benefited from there being no preseason and close practices, because I think he's someone that would have popped in those games and they would have maybe lost him, or
I see.
Been forced to keep him on the roster the whole year. So I think that little bit of hiddenness last year was, I think he's one of those guys that kind of got through the system and it benefited the Saints in that sense. But he didn't do a lot of outside zone running at Notre Dame. So I think that developed over the last year, vision, patience. But I mean, he looked good. I mean, he looked really good. And, I know a lot of stuff, second, third team he's doing it against, but that has really nothing to do with having the vision, the cut back, hit through a hole.
And when he hit the hole though, like once he stick his foot in the ground, like he's gone, man. Like just to see him, those outside zone runs, he looked pretty good on those. Now inside zone, we'll have to see. I don't think they ran inside zone particularly well in the preseason. So, maybe there's something to work on, but I definitely think like he did feel like he had a little bit more juice than Murray when he was in the game. Yeah.
Neither one of them really did a lot with the first team. I mean, Jones had the 11-yard run, so I guess he had one good run. I just didn't think the
run game looked strong.
I just thought the run game with the first team I just didn't think it was blocked well for anybody. That was the one thing that I kind of came out of the preseason a little bit. And I'm not worried about it because they're going to figure it out. Those guys are way too good. But that was the one thing that I was a little bit underwhelmed by throughout.
Yeah. I think that's a fair take. I think the running game is one of those things where, sometimes it takes like quarters for it to get going too. I don't know if the preseason is the best time to be, determining, especially, run game like the Saints, right? I can see if you're Baltimore or, one of those teams or, the Titans or something like that where your foundation is the run game. But, I think it is something to look at, though. I do agree that it's something to look at. So let's get into they're playing the Packers, and there's not a lot of information to be had right now just because, the season is starting. Usually, it probably takes, I don't know, like around 4 weeks before you kind of start to get a feel for what each team is doing. But we're gonna give it a shot anyway. So my first question I have for you, or a little topic, and I haven't told Nick this, so he doesn't have any idea what I'm about to ask him. So just a heads up about that. But I want to talk about Taysom. Do you think they're going to expand his package of plays this year, or do you think that, hey, this guy's been at quarterback pretty much, all off season, so it's like maybe it takes some time to install some stuff? Like, how do you think they're going to? Do you think they're going to use him any differently this year? Because I mean, they used him when Drew Brees was the quarterback, so I'm definitely sure they're going to use him when Jameis as the quarterback. So, like, how do you think they're going to use him, or it's going to be more the same, or they're going to try to expand this package?
I think they'll probably try to use him a little bit more, like throughout the whole season. Week 1 will be interesting to see how much he can do. He did lose a little bit of weight. I think that's a thing. I think he'll still be able to block and do it functionally. Maybe he's not out there, 2 tight end sets being the guy they run behind, which they have done before. Maybe it isn't quite that in week 1, but it will be at some point. I think losing maybe that dude, like he lost 10 or 15 pounds, but he's still like a very big person.
Country strong, just Utah.
He's still like, he's very built. It's not like he's like a waif, he's not like looking like like a kicker. Like he's a big dude, like significantly so. So I think he can still go out there and block and be functional. It just might be, a little bit hidden in some senses early in the season. But I think they're going to do all that. I think they'll do more with him this year. For years, I've been calling for the pass to Drew Brees. I think you can actually throw that pass to Jameis Winston at some point. I actually expect to see that at some point, because Jameis.
It's been open, right? It's been open though, right before.
It's been open before, but you just don't throw it to Brees because Brees, he's older. He doesn't move as well. Like, he hit the spin move. That's real, but like, you don't necessarily want to. Like, I think Jameis can actually.
Hey, Nick, you forgot to say no disrespect to the legend. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, not on this one. Like, it is what it is. Like, he's not Tom Brady, but by the end, like, it just wasn't something you probably wanted to do.
Yeah,
but Jameis's ability to move is like incredibly underrated. It's just really
awkward though. It's really awkward looking, but it works.
Like, I think you can do some stuff with that, and I think that's probably something that's going to happen at some point this year. But I think they're gonna do a lot with Taysom. I think it's going to expand. I think you probably do a little bit more, get him involved more places, and kind of make that a bigger part.
Yeah,
you kind of know what he is now. He probably isn't going to be your starter, so maybe you aren't as worried about him taking a hit.
Yeah,
I think maybe the logic behind it changes a little bit. I still think if someone got hurt, he'd be the backup the next game, the starter.
Next game.
But, yeah. I think he's going to be involved though, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. And, I'm pretty sure he wants to have an expanded package also, right? He didn't win a job. I'm pretty sure there's some level of disappointment there. So I can see Coach Payton saying, hey, we're going to, expand on what we do with you. And, you're still going to be a big part of the game plan and, all that, et cetera. So I think it's a good thing. I don't want him running the ball too much, other than if he's like trying to get out of bounds or something, or like getting down, because like I'm just worried about the fumbles. So that's something that you can't simulate. He's been a quarterback. He hasn't been hit. He hasn't been getting hit, and so I just think that that's something that it's a concern, and that's something to keep an eye on. But for the most part, yeah, I just think, just some zone read type plays, anything in short yardage, some stuff with him and Alvin. He still can throw, right? I mean, if you draw it up and the guy's open, he's going to hit the open receiver, right? And I think he's relatively accurate when the pocket is clean. So there's some things you can do with him as a quarterback and as a, runner/weapon. So we'll see how that goes. So,
hey, shout out Dr. John for signing up the elite. We appreciate you.
Hey, what's up? Thanks, John. Thanks for
also, we got to pay the bills.
Oh yeah. 100%
Bet with the 3-decade leader. Bet US. Join now for a 125% bonus or 200% bonus with crypto, use the code NOF125 for the 125% bonus, or NOF200 for the 200% bonus with crypto. And bet sports, casino, horses, pop culture, and more at betus.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.
Wait, so they went from 125 to 200
with crypto.
Man, still though, it's whatever.
Crypto bonus, man.
Hey, crypto. I'm just saying, man. I'm trying to figure out how we got to 110%. They went to 125 and 200.
I don't even know how to like buy a Bitcoin, man. I've tried before, and I don't like. I know how to buy stock in Bitcoin, but I don't know how to like actually own a Bitcoin. Like you got to have like a purse and all this, like it's or a wallet. I couldn't figure it out.
I got one. I got a little bit. You can. I'll sell it to you if you want to, but you know it's going to like I got to tax you though. I can't just be
I'm good, man.
You know?
I'm gonna keep the cash under the bed type of guy. You know, so.
Yeah. You should show them your setup, and I'm pretty sure everyone would believe you. Straight out the hood, bro.
Hey, man, I didn't have a mic stand, so it is what it is.
You from Ninth Ward, lower Ninth Ward with that, right? With that setup. There you go. Look at that dog food and the vitamin water.
You got to get some weight in there, man. You got to get some weight in there. I wasn't holding that mic the whole time.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, I ain't mad at it, bro. I ain't mad at it.
Hey, you gotta get it done. You gotta get it done.
Listen, man, you're doing this for the people. You got your mic stand. I mean, your mic is gonna smell like dog food indefinitely.
Yeah, I was filling up the bottle, and like Shram was in the kitchen looking at me.
Yeah, like what you doing?
Curious.
Yeah, and dogs once they hear their food, they're like, what am I in at, right? So you know you got to give her a few. Yeah, you got to give her some kibbles. Maybe I'll check the live stream while we're recording. See if she's mad. Yo, man, that's too funny. I told her anyway. I'll tell you after stream. Anyway, so let's get back to the game. So they play the Packers, right? It's America's game of the week. It's the afternoon game. You guys know all this stuff. So, like, to what do you feel like?
Oh, so 325. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's the afternoon game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Joe Buck and Aikman got it. Yeah, Buck and Aikman. Yeah. And I think I saw that from John Hendrick. So shout out to John for reporting that.
The schedule this week's horrible, man. Like the non-Saints schedule, like.
Oh really? I know. Well, the Thursday. That's
the game. The primetime games are horrible.
Oh, I'll have to check them out.
Let me get it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was looking at it earlier, and I was disgusted by it. We're way off topic, but
no, it's all good. It's all good. You're in a hotel room in an undisclosed location with dog food in your water bottle, talking through a microphone. Like this is we're already wrecked. This podcast is done.
No, they got Bears and Rams Sunday night. Like who wants to watch the Bears?
Oh, man? That's yuck. That's big. Especially with Andy Dalton. Like, ugh.
Yeah, Andy Dalton. Right.
Come on, man.
And Ravens and Raiders Monday night. I mean,
I can make myself enjoy that, but.
You got Steelers, Bills, you got Chiefs.
Oh, that's
Browns,
good though.
You got
Steelers.
The Saints and the Packers. Like get a good game in there.
What time is Steelers Bills?
Noon.
Wow. Okay, that's my early game.
So they just kind of messed the whole thing up, and then some Browns are also at 325.
Oh, that would have been another. See, that should have been the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
That should have been. The Sunday night game.
It's like Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Welcome to the season. Here's Andy Dalton. Like,
Sunday night. You're trying to expand your fan base.
They can't even sell that. You know what I mean? It's just like
you're gonna put the red rifle on Sunday night. Hey man, hey, you know what though? Shout out to Andy Dalton, man. He's he's still here, bro. He just like the quarterback Tommy Lee. Just keep popping up.
Yeah, no, one season he got his haircut and like he started playing well.
He was balling. He was balling that 1 year. I don't know, it was like that one outlier year. But all right, so back to the Saints. Where in what area do you think, and this is just based on like last year's intel from the Packers are without their starting left tackle, Bakhtiari. Now they're talking of this other kid. I'll see it.
Let's talk about that.
Go ahead.
I mean, I've been informed by Packers fans that he's an all-pro at all 5 positions on the
offensive line. He's not starting though.
I just don't think. I think he starts at guard when like everybody's healthy.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I believe so. He's out at tackle now. I mean, look, I think he's good. I watched him a little bit. I think he pass blocks pretty well. I don't think he's the greatest run blocker. I think he's functional. I don't see an all-pro at all 5 positions. And see, the problem is when you come at someone with that, that's the prism you're looking at him through. It's just like, are you kidding me? Like if you just said, "Hey, he's good," because that's really a little thing. Like Bakhtiari got put on PUP, and I quote tweeted. I said, oh, this could create an advantage for Marcus Davenport.
Mm-hmm.
I think not going against arguably one of the best
One of the
tackles in
best,
the NFL,
right.
creates some sort of advantage in the matchup. But apparently, this guy is just as good. And I've even seen people talking about, like, what if he outplays him? Do they get rid of Bakhtiari? It's just like, whoa, like, calm down. Maybe he is that good, and I don't know. Like, I shouldn't speak about like a player I haven't seen a ton of, but after these comments, I went and watched him. Just like, he's solid. Like, he's a good player.
Yeah,
You'd be happy to have him on your team, but like through that barrier,
it's a little
much.
The comments about him, and what's his name? It starts with an E or something.
Elgton. I'm going to mispronounce the first name, but Elgton Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins. Something. Okay, yeah, the E name. I just say E Jinx. You know, we got to give him a nickname or something. But yeah, when I saw it, I was just like, well, if he was that good, wouldn't he be starting? Like I just simplified it. I was like, well, if he's better, if he's an upgrade over the guy that they're.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't tell me it's not. Like, it can't be an upgrade.
It can't. It's impossible. I mean, if the coaches don't think that now, maybe after the fact we learned something. Maybe he is an all-pro after a few games, but like based on what you saw from him last season, and listen, the fans ain't learning nothing from. You're not learning about offensive linemen like that in training camp, right? Like you're not seeing it. A lot of that stuff happens when the reporters are not even there. They have these other. It's just. Yeah, it was a little bit of a wild take.
And that's all I'm saying. Before Packers Twitter comes from me, like, I'm just saying, like, I thought the dude was good, like, sometimes really good. I just don't think he's better than one of the best tackles in the NFL. That's it.
Yeah, Bakhtiari's top 3. Him, Armstead. I'm probably forgetting Ronnie Stanley's probably up there. I mean, like, he's one of those guys. So you can't just. He's
like super elite, man.
Yeah, Bakhtiari is really good. So you can't just be like the backup is just as good as him. And just that's like, you know, if we lose our tackle and we be like, yeah, well, we lost Armstead, but we got Landon Young in the tuck.
Like, I think
yeah, we good.
I think it's just better to. That's all I was saying. It was like, hey, this is probably better for Davenport not to have to go up against this guy. That's all I was saying. It wasn't I think like Stephon Gilmore goes down. I think it's better that Marquez Callaway doesn't have to go up against him. But I think J.C. Jackson is an absolute beast that doesn't get talked about enough. But it's better than going against Gilmore.
Gilmore, yeah. Even though I think, you know, Traquan's wide receiver number 1, so they're clearly going to shadow him. But we'll get there when we get there. No cap.
All cap.
All caps. All right, man. Answer my question. Where do the Packers have the edge? This is my 3rd time asking you. I mean, where do the Saints have the edge against the Packers?
Like, as far as
a team, just if you look at one position, you look at one position, you like the Saints should win this matchup. Like, because they have to win. I mean, you know, to win this game. Like, if you're the Saints in your game plan, and we're like, okay, we have to exploit this team in this way, right?
I don't know if I can even begin to answer that yet, because I don't know what the Saints are. I don't know what their quarterback is. I don't know what their wide receivers are, starting with Callaway down. I haven't seen him in that number 1 role. I mean, and I think it's probably going to rely on everybody else after him, because if he catches Jair,
I mean, he may smoke him. He might not. We don't know. I mean, he went against some good corners in the preseason. I mean, it is preseason. Let's chill out here. But
how did the Packers approach it? Did they actually follow Callaway? Like, has he earned that? Probably not. But maybe you feel like if you cut the head off the snake, the rest of it's kind of goes with it. So if you take away that one guy, maybe you think that, okay, let's see what Chris Hogan can do. You know what I mean? So,
but Sean's gonna kill you if you double Callaway. Sean's gonna kill you.
Well, like, he's gonna double him. I think that you could probably just put Alexander on him kind of straight up,
and then Sean's just gonna put him in the slot, or he's gonna do something. Yeah, he's gonna do something to get him open. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I
mean, I've seen teams take away Mike before, kind of. So I mean, it happens, and they do move him off in the slot, get some matchups there. But it's tough you can't just keep him in the slot every single play. I mean.
Traquan, the man that we don't want, but the man we need. I'm telling you, I watch out for. I don't even know what number he is. I forgot.
I mean, I think you just the matchup that you get that you win. I mean, I think you just kind of lay on what got you through last year, and I think you rely on Alvin extremely, very heavily, to the point where. Look, shout out to Raf Rattler, man. He said it the other day. He's like, they should just give the ball to Alvin 15 times in a row, just a little dump off him. One of those 15, he's gonna break it, and it's gonna happen.
That's probably a good point.
You could just keep doing that. That's kind of what the offense was last year. Was dump off to Alvin, pray best, let him do something.
Yeah.
We saw last year they can send the whole crew at him, and he's gonna break 6 tackles and get to the end zone.
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
Look, I mean, if we're being real, on paper, like it's hard to find quote unquote the edge. I mean, the Packers are probably the class of the NFC. I think they're Bucks. Probably them and the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks.
And I had a game right now. I would pick the Packers to win that game, and a head-up game between them and the Bucks. Okay. I think they're a little bit better. I
think the Packers missing one of their pass rushers too, though. So that's Smith. I think they're missing Smith, if I remember correctly. So they're missing a couple of their main guys, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, and that helps a lot because the Saints are missing some main guys too. So, but look, I still think they can win this game. I mean, there's a scenario where they can win this game. I think Jameis Winston has to be what he was in the preseason. If he does that, I think, you got a shot that puts you, very much in the mix in this game. I think that if Marshawn shows up and does what Marshawn does and he takes out Devontae Adams,
that's a game changer, though.
Yeah, and if you can stop this time not having Alan Lazar, be the guy that kills you. Like if you can just not get beat by non-Adams players on explosive plays, I think that gives you a pretty good advantage.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to say, against their running back that they probably don't have the advantage.
Aaron Jones is good though. Aaron Jones is really good, man.
No, they probably don't have the edge, but if the linebackers are as good as they've been, I think that kind of mitigates some of that a little bit.
Yeah,
it helps. You got these guys that can kind of flow everywhere. I think if Jameis is good, man, I think it's a closer game than a lot of people would probably expect, and it just all hinges on the great unknown, him and what he can do.
It's all about lazy Jameis.
I'm starting to believe, but
don't do it, bro. We'll
see.
I can't do it yet. And listen, Jameis Hive. I just I'm gonna see it. I don't project. I do, but I just need to because if it would be such a crazy thing if he just turned out to be amazing. That's why it's just I'd rather expect less and then be like, oh wow, this is a great surprise and come out the gates I
can't help it, man. I just see and hear things that just kind of make me.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming on. I get where you're coming from. And I just looked up
everything you've heard, everything you've seen. Just being real, like no gas, just straight up being real. No optimism, no painting a picture, nothing, no appeasing anybody, nothing like that.
Right.
Have you seen more things to make you optimistic or pessimistic?
What I've seen, or because am I taking into the practice? Because I'll be honest with you, after reading maybe some practice reports early in camp, I was like, we'll see. Not so sure. A little too close. I was expecting this to maybe be a little bit closer to over by now. Then
it was probably over sooner than anybody realized. I mean, being real.
Yeah. And then when I saw the first, and I mean, I remember talking to you offline about it. I saw the first preseason game and I was like, I don't even think it was close who was better. Jameis looked good in it. I was happy. I was like, wow, the interception, I didn't kill him for that. I thought he could have put that ball in a little bit different place.
That wasn't his
yeah, exactly. And then I just thought that he was going through his progressions. He was making quick decisions. I was like, wow, he's looking good. Give me this quarterback here. And then Sean can work with that. And then when I saw the second preseason game, I was like, oh, don't do this to me, man. That's not, don't. And then it had when he threw the first touchdown, I was just like, all right, cool. That was cool. That was cool. He made that play. He made that happen. That was best case scenario. And then he did it again. I was like, okay, maybe I believe a little bit more now. So yes, he gave me way more reasons to be very optimistic than a pessimist. But
that's all I'm saying. I'm not going out and figuring out how to set up a crypto wallet to buy Jameis coin. But I might be looking at the process of figuring it out.
Yeah, somebody beat you to that. Yeah,
I'm starting to gather some information to figure out how to Jameis going, but like I'm not like in there. Like I'm,
Yeah,
I haven't went through the process, but
yeah.
I've done a Google search. Like
I'll
that's just
trade
where
my
I'm
little
at with
crypto
it.
coin for it. I'll trade my
Yeah, I'm
little
looking at
small
it.
crypto.
I'm looking at it. I'm
Yeah, you
following it. I might think about setting up a Twitter alert. Maybe a Google alert. But
Stock
I'm
options
not there yet.
Stock options for NewOrleans.Football employees get a little bit of a piece of, trying to see where I fit in, bro. but okay. So, but I'm with you though. There does seem to be like a level of optimism around him from the players too, right? And so, yeah, I could definitely see people saying, "Wow, I think Jameis could, be successful in this team, with this team, in this system, etc." And I'm one of those people, but I think I need to see it in a regular season game, though. Like that's just like my same. I mean, same thing with Davenport, same thing with Zach Bunn, same thing with Marquez Callaway, same thing with Cesar Ruiz. Like I just, good, very good until now, right? Best case scenario up until the season, but then now this is where it's got to happen. So, but he's done everything he can up until this point. I just turned my flashlight on somehow. He's done everything he can up until this point to generate like some momentum around himself, and so I definitely can't take that from him. Yeah. So yeah, I actually, where do I think they have the edge? I think they have to win up front. I think defensive line they have to win. Without, not having Onyemata, I was just thinking about today. I was like, man, that is, it just hurts. It hurts. Like I think it's probably as big a loss as they could have. He's one of Mike and Alvin. You got some guys, right? But that was a big one. But I just think they got to win up front, right? You can't let Alvin. Oh gosh, you can't let Aaron Rodgers sit back there and just play pitch and catch. With the questionable number 2 cornerback out there. I just think, and Devontae Adams is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, if he's not the best. Just based on last year. So. I think you got to pressure him because with the quarterback, the wide receiver, Marshawn can probably cover him some, but you can't just cover him with no pass rush. So I just think that they got to get the ball out of his hand quick. I think that's going to be one of the keys.
I feel good about the pass rush. It's the interior. The interior defensive line terrifies me.
Terrifying.
And this is a game where it could show up a little bit because they do have a good running game, and they do generally
run that zone stretch zone run game that can, if you're not playing your gaps well, then game over.
Yeah, the only hope is that the linebackers can cover that up, and that is a spot that you can disguise a little bit, but you still gotta be clearing space.
So let me ask you this then: are you worried about them? I'm more worried about their pass rush. I think in the run, I feel relatively good about the Saints' ability to stop the run, maybe against any team other than like Baltimore, because that scheme is just crazy. But I think the interior guys against the run, I feel better about that than I do about them rushing the passer.
Yeah, look, Onyemata wasn't ever really, he helps there a lot. But I don't think he was like the piece that held the run defense together. I think losing him hurts you more in the pass rush than it does in the run defense.
Yeah.
And
I think how they play defense just allows them to stop the run. I don't think there's no one player that is the run enforcer on this team. Just how they get to the ball, how fast the defense is. I think that's kind of what makes the defense. Yeah.
And I think they got the linebackers to. It's a combination of everything, but I think they got the linebackers to help you with that. It's the pass rush interior that's the concern, that terrifies me with it. Yeah, and against a guy like this, not having it shows up. So that hopefully that defensive end depth shows up in the manner that allows you to get after the quarterback in some semblance with those guys, your NASCAR package, whatever it may be. If Payton Turner can play, he helps with it.
There you go. That's my question. So how do you think they rush the passer this game with the lack of interior rushers? Like, what do you think they do? You think they kind of go with a 3-man front with a linebacker rushing? You think they go with 4 DNs, 3 DNs? Like, how do you think they accomplish this? Slot blitzes?
Yeah, all the above. They did a lot of
yes.
Yes. And that's just kind of how they go about it anyhow. And they do play a lot of 3-man front. They did last year already with the players they had, and I thought they had much better interior pass rushers last year. But yeah, they did put Onyemata on those, and he ate from that spot.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. So I think you could see some of that just to kind of put your strength and get 3 linebackers on the field. I mean, Demario Davis is a good blitzer. Zach Bond's a good blitzer. We don't know anything about Pete Werner yet, but at least those two. Caden. I think Caden Ellis. I don't think Caden Ellis would be the guy out there in a pass rush.
I think you're going to see Bond and be Bond and Alexander with whoever one of those two with
Alexander
Davis.
Or maybe Pete gets some snaps there too. But I think all those, the first 3, Alexander, we know about all them. They can definitely blitz. So
and then Bond can tap Bond like he hits too, man. I mean, like he I feel pretty good about his tackling. So I could see him being like definitely like the base down wheel, and then maybe in some nickel situations they may bring in Alexander. And I don't know how. I'm pretty sure they're not going to use him a lot. He'll probably have some packages. Would just be my guess on how they use him.
Yeah, that's a big question for me, is how many snaps he can actually play. Like playing and then playing a lot are two different things. If he plays a lot, I mean, it'd be like just completely unbelievable. I'm in no position to be able to doubt
bro,
that guy.
I'm on the deer antler test on him. I need to know what he took, bro. Some clean and clear. Like, what's in that bag?
Look, man, it's just I think it's just Dr. Sharif does amazing stuff. I mean, he's made Alvin but he's helped Alvin unlock levels of balance.
He's Gumby at this point. Yeah, he turned Alvin into Gumby.
if you got a muscle that needs repaired, a ligament that needs repaired, I mean, that's a guy I think I would be, that's my first call. Hey, you got a spot. I mean, look, it's just
yeah, that's real.
I think that's just a credit to him. And look, they've gotten criticized so much. A lot of people thought the stuff Alvin was doing was weird, and anytime you see something different, that's just kind of people come for you, and then it works, and he's doing these incredible things, and now this guy has an Achilles, he goes to him, it works. So at this point, I not doing an ad for Dr. Reef here, but like the guy does unbelievable stuff, and it's unconventional, but it works. And I think we see the results of it over and over now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's real. That's real. I know, like I was, the other day, man, I was having trouble typing. I went and got a towel and started throwing it like a baseball. No backspace. It just worked. I'm like, Jameis, thanks. So,
You really did that? Or are you making a joke?
I'm just saying, like, no, I was just joking off. You saying if it looks different, then people like make fun of it, right? And so, I mean, listen,
people making fun of Jameis is so.
It's so
people
crazy.
Making fun of Jameis is. They don't understand how much science is behind everything he does. Like Tom Allison, they're measuring like biomechanics. They got people hooked up to sensors to measure. Like, I don't think it's the movements. I think it's just Jameis how he looks when he's doing them. Because like Drew was doing like the whole little, I'm not going. You guys don't want to see Kev dance here, but where you do the little hip thing with the hands up. Yeah,
it was never. Drew was doing it for years, and then you see Dak do it or something, and it's a big deal. So I think it kind of just goes to like certain players or like targets and whatnot. And Jameis, he's a funny dude, man. Like the whole blocking dummies, like tackling him. It's just little funny stuff. But I do agree that like it's fine to like make a little joke about it. But if you're having a serious conversation about it, like this guy is everything that he's doing is backed by like research, like he said.
Yeah, and like he's working his mechanics and all that like
hard,
bro.
Like
it's
hard, bro.
Significant
hard.
Focus.
And you can tell though.
Yeah, you can.
You can tell like the way that his mechanics, they look intact. Now the thing is that I would like to see a little bit more, because you got to saw it on the second touchdown of the second preseason game, was like when the pocket gets a little bit muddy, does his mechanics stay intact? But so far so good. You can't take it from him.
Back to the pass rush show. Like if they go 4-man, I think Tano Passanio kicks inside. If Payton Turner's ready to play, I think he can kick inside. The big question in this game, really, and we'll get a better idea of this tomorrow when we get to see some of practice out here at TCU. Ken Crawley is, that's the biggest question for me. And him not playing is, Adebo, we've seen good things, but those good things last in a real game where people are studying you, they're trying to exploit what you're doing. Is it, it's one thing to cover well when McSorley's targeting you, Trevor Lawrence, is trying to figure it out. Aaron Rodgers it's a little bit different. And if you end up on Devontae Adams somehow, which hopefully he wouldn't, can he keep up? Like there's there's a lot. There's a lot. And Green Bay runs some stuff that's designed to break your coverage. We've seen them break the Saints coverage.
Yeah,
and
exactly what
that's
they do.
a tough matchup, man. That's it's a lot different. And everything, again, I'll go back to the thing we said about Jameis. Everything we've seen from Adebo breeds optimism as opposed to pessimism, but it's still a lot unknown. And
he's a rookie.
That's a scary first game. And it's a scary for like Crowley being in there is only, it's terrifying on those levels too, because we've seen him play really well all preseason. We've seen him play well before in 17. Everything between there actually happened though. And you just got to see which side of that he's going to fall on. I'm a little more optimistic in Crowley than
the Debo.
Yeah, I think I veer towards optimism on both of them. Just you have to. There's no reason not to based on what we've seen. But the unknown with both of them is scary. And I've seen Crowley's bottom, so maybe that kind of makes you feel more comfortable with what because you know what his bottom is, and maybe it's okay. Yeah. But
it's a nice comment just to kind of like maybe go to a little side discussion here. The Saints don't really do that though. Like they put Lattimore on. I don't ever remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know Belichick will do it, but like the Saints put Lattimore on the best wide receiver, and they just say study his film all week and go cover him. And like, so what do you think? And maybe they've done that before. You watch more Saints film than I do. But yeah, just speak on that point.
They don't usually do that. And what the Patriots will usually do is put their best corner on the number 2 or the number 1 is usually what they'll do. And it works for them. The Saints don't really do that a whole lot though. I mean, they shadow, but it's not like they shadow and roll the coverage the other way. And it's just like, oh my God, look at all this space he has to cover.
Right.
The safety's usually in a neutral position. And, at some point there might be a break towards that. It's like when you got to choose your you got to pick one side or the other, commit a little bit. They might turn their hips towards the other side and be away from Lattimore. Yeah, but it's never like an all-out selling out. And maybe this is the year you do it, though. Maybe your personnel dictates.
Yeah.
But, I've tried to get DA to talk about this for years and just kind of like the ups and downs of Lattimore. Does that change how you can think about that? Because if you don't know if he's going to be top-tier Lattimore, leaving him one-on-one is trouble. Right. I mean, so
right.
I think that's where those inconsistencies hurt you a little bit, and they'll never say that, but I think that that's part of it. The ups and downs kind of keeps you in this neutral place. And
well, speaking of that, guys, make sure you guys go to NewOrleans.Football. There's an article right now speaking about this exact point, talking about Lattimore and just how he's looked in practice. Not going to give it to you guys. The subscribers here have already read it. But yeah, I just want to point you guys to the website. This is why we here, right there on top of the screen, NewOrleans.Football. Go there and check it out, because what Nick is talking about, there's an article on the site right now explaining all of this in way more depth than we're going to go into on this podcast. So yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying, like just with the inconsistencies, right? And also one thing, it's like Lattimore kind of plays his best ball when he's going against a good. Yeah, you don't want to put him against Lazard because he might mail it in. I mean, apparently, the notion now is like he's practicing better. And let me stop before I speak too much about the article. But listen, you got a top corner, put him on a receiver. I want to see Lattimore against Evans. Adams. I don't want to see him against Lazard. I'll be honest with you. So, well, that's a good thought, Byron. Just wanted to. Kind of highlight your comment there. So here's one thing. I know I asked you, where do the Saints have the edge? I think that they have the edge. I think their O-line. I think that's going to be. Obviously. Yeah, I think that's going to have to be the key to this game. I think keeping Jameis clean, right? Keeping the pocket clean. I think Coach Payton is going to have to. This year in general, he's he's up for the job, but he's going to have to call good games. He's going to have to do some things schematically, especially until Mike gets back. But you still have Alvin. You still have some weapons on offense. So I just think that, the offensive line is going to be a big part of this game. They need to keep the quarterback clean. They need to keep the pocket clean. They need to keep the Smith brothers. I think, like I said, Zadarius is a little hurt. So we'll see if he plays. I think
you returned though, right? You returned this week.
He returned to practice, but, he's not 100% yet, just from what I read.
Didn't he? He had a contract thing going on at some point too.
Oh, really?
So I don't know what the deal is. Like he's been.
I thought it was the injury though. I thought this was a.
I think it's two things, but I think there's been a hint of is this really a contract thing more than an injury thing?
Yeah. Okay.
He hasn't talked. I don't know. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll see if there's anything out there while we're potting, if I can find anything on there. But I thought I saw a Packer fan in here. I think he's, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll look that part up. But yeah, just keeping those two pass rushers, in check. And then the nose tackle. I forget the nose tackle. I like them coming out of UCLA. Kenny Clark. Yeah, he's a good player too. So just keeping those guys up front, in check, I think is going to be pretty crucial to win the game.
The Saints line is so good that I don't even really think about the pass rush for other teams too much.
So how do you
factor
factor
an absolute monster? That's the only time. But when it's just kind of and look, Zadarius Smith has been at times an absolute monster. Yes,
yeah.
A lot of times, it's just kind of all right, they'll handle this. That's what they're paid for. They've drafted, they've invested so much. You should be able to kind of, feel good about whoever they're going against with the investment in that line.
Yeah, he's dealing with a back injury. It's a back injury.
Yeah, he has a back injury, but people have been talking about his contract, and there was some weird payout structure, and then there was a beef about it, and they redid it at some point.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Zadarius, get your money, bro. Don't play until they pay you, till they redo that contract, till they restructure you. All guaranteed, right? None of this injury guarantee, none of this crazy stuff, bro. Fully guaranteed, Kirk Cousins contract. Get your money, bro. Get your money.
Yeah.
That's the pot. That's all I got, man. Okay, so this is the inverse question. So where do you think, if you have to pick an area where you said, okay, this is a tough matchup for the Saints, and I know you about to go cornerback too. I know that's one, but just give me something else. Pick another spot. Where you say okay, they have to cover up this spot, or this could be problematic for them.
The Saints have to cover up a spot, or
not cover up. They have to address this guy, this player, this position, this thing that they do with their scheme. Because if you ask me this question, I would say, hey man, watch out for the play action, right? Because all these LaFleur and his brother and Arthur Smith and Shanahan, all these, and, Kyle Shanahan, all these guys, McVay, they all come from this Shanahan system, right?
Yeah, and their bootlegs are problematic. But look, I all my things with the Saints right now are more internal than external. Can they still run their blitzes with the DTs, or the DTs going to open those holes for the linebackers to flow through? Will their stunts work the same way? We got the article on the site, the glossary, kind of breaking down all the stunts that they run, and there's many of them that are dependent on defensive tackle. And
yes,
can you make that work with those players? I mean,
yeah,
that the DT,
you think it's the biggest need on the team?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt, it's to me the biggest need. I don't know if it's the highest value need, but it's the highest level of need. You lost your top two players there. Another guy that was a key player left in free agency.
Do they have all undrafted free agents at DT?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they just signed some guy. I don't know the guy that they signed. Did
Ringo get drafted, or was he undrafted and then came here?
Who?
Ringo. I don't know if he got drafted by another team and eventually came here.
I didn't know the guy until this year. I didn't know him until this year. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I think I want to say he's an undrafted guy. We know Roach is. We know Total is. They just signed Adams.
I don't know how he entered the league either, but
okay, yeah. I'll look up Ringo, but basically they are
it's nobody that's a high
pedigree. Yes, yeah, no high pedigree players there.
It's kind of a cobbled together group of players, and
it's terrifying. Roach
had a good camp. I feel good about Roach and what he's going to do. Ringo looked good too, but as a week one NFL starter, it's just that's not where you want to. That wasn't the plan. It was Jalen Dalton and it was Onyemata.
Total ain't been the same since 2019.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, that was the position that I was worried about probably more so than any other position when camp started. I just looked at DT and I was like, I don't know any of these guys.
I wasn't sweating it because like I kind of felt like I liked Dalton last year. I thought it was, the spot where they could kind of get through. It's not a high value position necessarily. Like it is when it's good, but when you don't have like the Onyemata, Aaron Donald, like the very like high level dudes, it's just kind of like
you can kind of maybe sort of, but good. I mean, I don't know. I just look at good teams. I mean, a lot of them,
the interior guys are game changers, but like
yeah,
there's
they
teams
are
that are good without
man.
like a game changer inside, and I thought you could survive through that. So it wasn't like it wasn't a breaking point for me.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
you lose Dalton, you're kind of where you're at. It becomes, it's scary. It's a scary spot.
Yeah, man. It would have been nice to have a little Shelly would have been nice right now. What you doing, man? Come on back, bro. You no hard feelings. Get your butt back down here to that water.
So I go DT, I go cornerback, and then I got wide receiver third behind them. Like it's any one of those positions I think could end up fine. Any one of them could end up bad. There's a path to success, a path to failure for all of them.
High variance.
I feel like the path that's at wide receiver is closer. Not even success. The path to just mere competence, yes, is much closer than it is for DT.
Because you can play call your way, out of some of that stuff. You can't play call your way around a good offensive guard that can block you, right? At some point, you got to beat this man 1-on-1. So yeah, I'm with you.
Cornerback, there's just you can't hide it. You can't hide it. So cornerback might actually be number one for me still, but I believe in the players they have there maybe a little bit more than.
Yeah. I would say cornerback. I would say if you're worried about a weakness that could potentially
unravel,
hurt this team.
Yeah, that's
I would say hurt the team. Yeah, cause you to like just lose games, right? I feel like cornerback, just since it's such a high value position, that could absolutely be the case, right? But DT, I feel like the talent at DT is lower than the talent at cornerback, right? I feel like, yeah. So I think that's the issue. Wide receiver, when you take who the coach is, right? I think there's some stuff that you can do with Juwan Johnson. Traquan Smith has his moments. Alvin Kamara is one of the best. I just think you can somewhat manufacture some offense with and it's not ideal, right? I mean, come on, Mike. 6 weeks. Let's get that ankle ready. Week 7, we need you. But I definitely think that the DT is the weakest position, but it's probably not the biggest need. I would probably qualify it like that.
Look, they manufactured offense all year last year. I mean,
last couple of years, maybe, if you're being real.
And if Callaway can be like Sanders equal or even close to it.
Yeah. No disrespect to the legend, but
it took him a little while. Like, look, it took him a little while to get going. I mean, he caught COVID. It was up and down.
That's true. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, that's a high bar. I mean, that's a high bar for Callaway to be Emmanuel Sanders, but
I would say that, look better so far. I mean, Callaway never looked. I'm sorry. Sanders never looked like. Like at least for us, like I feel like we never got going with him. Like he never had like this string. Like he had this one game and it would disappear. Like Callaway is just he came out
a little stretch, but yeah, it wasn't.
Callaway's look. I'll say it. Let me just say, Callaway's look better than Sanders look. He looks better this year than Sanders looked last year, right? Like as far as up until this point. That's just. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, to be fair, Sanders, we never saw Sanders in the preseason. We haven't seen Callaway do this in a real game.
Well, I mean, just like the initial, maybe the better way to quantify it is the initial impression, right? Because he did miss some of that time. But I'm just saying, like, Callaway has given you peaks that he looks like a number one. I'm not saying that's what he's going to be. I'm not saying that's even what he is. Right now, after going against Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, and Shaq Griffin, he smoked all 3 of them dudes, man. So there is more than enough reason for like a lot of optimism with this player, right? Just a lot. If someone's high on Marcus Callaway, I'll be like, bro, you just believe in what you see. right? You just believe in what you see. He's been outstanding. And so I just think that is valid, right? I think that optimism for him is valid. So
I think we'll find out for real this week.
Yeah, we will. One funny thing, man. Did you see the coach Sean Payton? He was asking, him and Gail Benson, they greeted each other, right? And he was like, "Yeah, I got a gutter." And I was like, "Bro, what? I got a gutter."
Yeah, he's got a leg. I got a gutter.
Bro, I was up way too late last night. It was my little birthday. I was trying to milk my day as long as I could, right? And I'm up late, and I'm looking at the video, and he's like, "I got a gutter." And I was like, "Bro." So I'm tweeting at 3 a.m.
It was ridiculous, man.
Bro, bro, I'll say this, man. Can we just get a lifetime? Well, just Miss Benson, just get a man a lifetime contract as a coach. Listen, every 2 years, we're gonna relook at your contract and make sure it's in the top 5. But you good for life, man. Because I don't want to hear no other coach. I don't want no one else to coach the Saints other than Sean Payton, man. He's one of a kind, man. So yeah, what else you got for this game? Like I said, I just think the main things is, I think you can't let Aaron Rodgers play 7-on-7 with you. And I just think that, you got to be able to control the game up front on both ends of the ball. Those are the biggest things. If they can do that and Jameis protect the ball, I think those are the keys for me, right? Just don't give them free possessions.
Jameis 1 pick or less.
Oh,
don't let non-Adams receivers get explosive plays.
Yes.
In what would be my third key?
Don't
let them. You got to get the pass rush. You got to get the pass rush. You got to get some pass rush.
Yeah, you can't let them run the ball neither at all. Yeah, those are my keys. So we'll see what happens. Listen, guys, I got something really important to say. The game is Sunday. We do post-game pods now.
Oh yeah.
Ain't that right, Nick? I mean, if I'm lying, let me know if I'm lying. Just let me know if I'm lying.
We do. I forgot we were doing post-game pods, but yeah, we're doing post-game. But you got to sign up.
Ain't no capping over here, bro. So if you want the post-game pods, you see that little link down there right after .football? If you click it or type it in, then we make it real easy for you to go there and get your little subscription. You could be elite if you feel that way. If you're not feeling that way, hey man, we'll take it how you give it. But yeah, in all seriousness, this is how my man has a beautiful, the second cutest dog I've ever seen in my life. That's how she eats. He got her dog food in his vitamin water bottle with his mic in there. My man is recording with dog food in his nose, right?
We gotta get it done, man.
Bro, I just gotta show respect. I was like, man, me and you, we've been hungry before.
I forgot the mic stand, so I had to make one. Bro, I was holding this thing for an hour, man.
Hey man, look, I'll tell you this.
We got to get that sound quality right. But yeah, if we're doing post-game pods for the audio listeners that aren't subscribed, NewOrleans.Football/subscribe. That's how you get it post-game. They're on there. Put them in your little podcast feed. Whatever you use, it'll show up. It'll be good to go.
Yeah, man. So you guys just go there and sign up and support it. We appreciate it. And if you guys are already signed up, liking, subscribing to YouTube page, all that stuff helps. Retweeting, reviewing the podcast. Listen, man, we need stands. We need NewOrleans.Football stands, man. For real. Come through. Jameis Hive, just get the extended membership. So with all serious, man, thank you guys for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have been overwhelmingly supportive, even more so than usual during this hard time, helping your fellow citizen out. And for some reason, you guys sought us out to listen to us more and read the articles more. We appreciate all that. And just, NewOrleans.Football is the first name in the name of the business says it all. Is New Orleans. And, that kind of is why, we always try to give back. Shout out to, the generous patron and Nick for setting up the fundraiser. That still blows my mind that whole thing happened. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the supporters. Just want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you guys for showing up to the stream live and listening to it. You could be doing something else. So just our way of saying thank you. With that said, man, that's all we got. We'll see you next week. We out.